A very good morning. So, in this session, we discuss about another theory in evolution. So, in the last session, we discussed about Lamarckism and his postulates and examples, that is, the evidences of a Lamarckism and all. So, in this session, we discuss about Darwinism theory of a natural selection and all. So, who is Darwin? The life of Darwin, how it is. So, the name Charles Darwin in 1809 to 1882 came from a well to do family of a British doctor. So, his father, Robert Darwin, accepted his son Charles to obtain a degree in medicine from the University of Edinburgh. But Charles was not interested in medicine and thought of joining priesthood. Even even this failed to interest him. So a turning point come to Charles Darwin life when he was asked to a neutralist on a sailing ship HMS Beagle. So the ship was to sail around the world for 5 years and conducted various studies on oceans and continents. So Darwin taken that 5 year sailing ship HMS and he studied nothing but he conducted various studies of oceans and continents. So that is nothing but the voyage on the Beagle was extremely useful to Darwin. He observed a wide variety of organisms in their natural habitats and collected a large number of fossils from a rich fossil beds of South America. So he started thinking deeply as he was the variety of organisms down one coast and up to the other. And the birds and other animals of the west coast were very different from those of the east coast. And ideas gradually began to crystallize in his mind. And his ideas were greatly influenced by two books here, Principles of Geology, written by the famous British geologist Sir Charles Ley, and an essay on the principles of population by the British political economist, that is Thomas R. Malthus, in the 1766 add to 1834. So this is about how the life of Darwin is there and which is the turning point of the Darwin. So next, theory of natural selection, nothing but we call it as a principles of Darwinism. So Darwinism or the theory of natural selection assumes that new species arises from a natural selection, meaning thereby that natural selection is the force behind evolutionary changes. How does natural selection work here? In order to understand this, we shall study the basic principles of Darwin's theory, which is listed here. All organisms tend to produce more offsprings than can actually survive, and this is called overproduction or a high biotic potential. Because of overproduction, there is a constant competition among the individuals for existence, and this is called struggle for existence. Members of a given species vary in a number of features or they exhibit a variation. Organisms with useful variations survive in the struggle and reproduce, passing on the useful variations to the offspring. So, this is a survival of the fittest. So, and the fifth principle is nature act as a force in selecting the fittest that would survive and reproduce, and this is a natural selection. Among the survivors, variations would accumulate over period of time and make them so different from their ancestors that they must be regarded as a distinct new species, and this we call speciation. So one by one here we are going to study explanation of Darwinism, and the first principle, that is a overproduction. So Darwin found that all plants and animals are capable of reproducing more rapidly than necessary if the favorable conditions of food, shelter, and climate are variable. A population of organisms shows a geometric ratio of increase. For examples are there here. A single oyster may produce as many as 114 million eggs. If all of these survived, then the ocean would be full of oysters only. So the fruit fly, that is a Drosophila, have a new generation every 10 to 14 days. Nothing but it reproduce. A single female lays 200 eggs. If it assumed that all the offspring survive, so the offsprings of paired of flies would be about 20 million within a matter of 40 to 45 days here. So it is also larger population. So the elephant is considered to be the slowest breeder. It becomes sexually mature at the age of 30, and its pregnancy lasts for 21 months. So, a single female produces 6 young during its life, and if all the young of a pair survived, and there would be a nearly 19 million descendants at the end of 750 years. I think it is also of a overproduction. So all the figures are theoretical. So the number of individuals that survive and reproduce in each generation is small when compared to the number initially produced. So that is nothing but all the offspring produced do not survive because of the number of factors such as age, disease, parasites, accidents, food shortage, etc. And this check the number and maintain the population size. So second principle says that struggle for existence. So after overproduction, it is a next is a struggle to live. So Darwin observed that a new offspring will have to compete among themselves or with those of another species for the requirements of life like a food and shelter. So this competition was called struggle for existence, and three types are there in here. So first is a intra-specific struggle. If a struggle or a competition between the members of the same species, that is nothing but a within. So the struggle between the organisms of a different species is called interspecific. So that interspecific struggle. So the struggle is more severe when the needs of a particular group of individual are the same. And the third is a struggle with the environment is against several factors. So that's the extremes of a heat or a cold, drought, volcanic eruption, earthquakes, floods, etc. So as a result of three types of struggles, some individual will die without reproducing and others will reproduce less. And the third one is a variation, third principle. Variation are differences among individuals of a species. The name only indicates variation. differences. So such variations may be in a height, weight, color, external or internal structure, physiology or behavior. So if variations are passed on the offspring, they are called heritable variations. If they are not passed on to the offspring, they are non-heritable variations and are mostly produced by the effects on the environment. So only the heritable variations are important in evolution. So they three types of variations are distinguished based on their usefulness in the struggle for existence. So useful, harmful and neutral. Here three are there. For example, an ability to survive drought would be a useful variation. Inability to run fast to escape from the predator would be the harmful variation here. So Darwin had noted how plants and animals breeders were taking advantage of variations and were developing numerous varieties of domesticated animals and plants here. In this way, man was able to prepare the required variation and transmit it to further generations. So Darwin argued that if men would change plants and animals by careful selection, a similar event would occur in the nature also. So next fourth postulate, it is principle survival of the fittest. So Darwin argued that which individuals will survive and reproduce and which will not are determined by to a great extent by the interaction between the variations and the environment. So any favorable variations would give a better chance of survival in a given environment. So the individual will have better chance of mating, reproducing and passing on the variation to the next generation. So in this way, the more fit or in Darwin's words, fittest will survive and reproduce. So unfit individuals, that is those with the unfavorable variations, are less likely to survive and reproduce here. So next fifth principle is a natural selection. Since organisms with favorable variations survive and those with unfavorable variations do not. So the rate of survival of the two types of individuals is different. Such a differential survival is called natural selection. It is a adaptive nature. The survivors or the fittest can transmit their favorable variations to the offsprings. So in this way, a better adopted species replaces the earlier one. And the last principle, that is the origin of new species. That is the origin of species. A new species of organism arises by a natural selection over many generations, during which the offsprings become considerably different from their ancestors due to accumulation of variations. So the differences would be enough to differentiate them from other organisms and mark them off as a separate species. So the species includes all those individuals, however different they may appear, so that are capable of interbreeding, that is sexual reproduction and producing fertile offsprings. So the ability to interbreed is an indication as to whether two organisms are sufficiently different to be classified as separate species. So, the development of a new species is called speciation, and the speciation is the result of evolution, and that is why Darwin chose the name in his great work, that is a origin of species. So here he he noted six postulate the principles, and these six principles says that the Darwin theory, that is nothing but a theory of natural selection we can call, and these are important. Right. Thank you.